Nice to finally formally meet you.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh.
I graduated high school May 26th of 2000.
I used to do a lot of film photography. I don't do much anymore.
Okay.
I'm the Hines County District Attorney, which makes me the top.
Hi guys, it's Faith Simone here.
I'm Amanda Wells.
Hi, it's Jody Owens.
Hello everybody, this is your girl Hillary Christian.
Hi, I'm Tom Beck.
Enjoying my evening with the Dirty Napkins crew. Make sure.
Let's go get some napkins dirty.
How does a young kid?
I think it's so critical.
Literally, you can say bad things about me, it can be false.
I had a number in my head.
What's one of your more proud moments? What would you say?
So every day is different. We're learning something new every single day.
She said, well, tried it.
There's always something burning inside you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirty Napkins. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Dirty Napkins. Until next time, it's your host, Taylor. Welcome. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dirty Napkins. Tonight, we're at the home of Dwanna Stanley, and we'll be enjoying a meal prepared by our Dirty Napkin chef, Chef JB. Dwanna is a real estate mogul who is taking over the real estate game. Tune in. Let's go get some napkins dirty.
What's going on, guys? This is Chef JB with the dish of the week. Today's dish, we're bringing you surf and turf with a tomahawk steak with a crab stuffed lobster tail, sweet potato mash, and asparagus. For any private chef needs or catering events, be sure to follow me as chef.jbz on Instagram.
Everything been moving fast, yeah. So I told her put up the gas, yeah. I just been looking around, yeah. Cause I see 'em all in the stand.
Oh my God, you guys. So I remember doing my very first promo video shoot December the 7th, 2018 for the Agency Real Estate Services. It was myself and a lot of actresses. Till today, we've closed on $100 million in real estate 2.5 years later. I'm Dwanna Stanley, and I'm the owner, broker of the Agency Real Estate Services here in Ridgeland, Mississippi. I currently have 54 agents. Thinking back, I remember when I was so excited when I had my very first photo shoot with myself and 8 other agents. And to think about taking a photo with 54 agents has just blown my mind. So yeah, we're located here in Ridgeland, Mississippi, where our average sales price is $183,000 per house. And to think $100 million in sales, I cannot believe it. Over the past 2.5 years, I've worked diligently to build my brand. I try to invest a lot in my agents. I help them with marketing. I give them leads. We do so much here at the agency, and I'm so proud of what I've built. Started out a little rough, but thank God I stayed the course and I kept going. I didn't give up no matter what type of trials came my way. I was going through having my license suspended. I remember my very first month in business, which was January 2019. My gross profit was $870 to now where the numbers are literally blowing my mind. Every single month, I look back at the numbers and I look at how much my agents have grown. And I'm just so excited with what I've built here. And when I think about the agency in 2022, I get so excited because we have so many amazing things that are going to happen in the fourth quarter of 2021.
Peace of mind, give you peace of mind. Leave it all behind, leave it all behind.
My biggest motivation with this whole thing has been my daughter, and I always tell her that she has sacrificed more. I put a lot into building my business, which means I took a little time from her. I got into being a full-time real estate agent so that I can be there for all of her cheer competitions, to be there when I needed to travel, to be there for her when I needed to be at her school. So she really took the biggest sacrifice, and since she's in college now, I have so much more time to devote to my business that she will one day take over. So I'm so excited about all the amazing things that we have happening, not only in 2021, but beyond. And I'm so excited about the transitions my agents have made. So I like to call us a young firm. And the reason why I say that we're a young firm, because most of my agents have been in the business 3 years and less. Actually, half of my agents have only been in the business for a year. And what makes me so excited about that, I have agents who've transferred from some of the largest firms in our area, went from making no money or having no closings to being multi-million-dollar producers right here at the agency under my training and my leadership, which lets me know that I am doing things right and my agents are heading in the right direction. I don't take leads out the office because I want one of my agents to succeed, so we do offer referrals to them. We do every single thing that we possibly can to get our agents in production. Right now, 86% of our agents are in production, and the only reason why it's not 100% is because they're brand spanking new. Just this week alone, we've signed on 6 new agents, and I'm excited about that. So we are one of the fastest growing real estate firms in the state of Mississippi. We are the largest Black-owned firm in the state of Mississippi. And I think it has a lot to do with our marketing. And oh my God, isn't it duplicated? A lot of people think that I should be offended, but you know, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So with my marketing, I get asked a lot of questions. I was specifically asked a question. So what do you think about when people say that your marketing is out of the box? And I don't think anything about it because once I do it, the next month another real estate firm just kind of comes right behind me. But the thing is, I am unapologetically myself, and me being me and me being authentic and me putting my agents first and me putting my firm out there, the forefront of social media, taking advantage of social media, taking advantage of all of the amazing attributes it has, it put me where I am today. So when people want to discuss my untraditional marketing, it doesn't bother me at all because I know that my marketing is working. And another amazing thing about our marketing with the agency is I have not had to recruit a single soul. Every single agent that I have here at the agency, they came here because of the marketing that they saw and the way that we promote our agents, because we put our agents at the forefront. Again, I'm Dwanna Stanley, the broker owner of the Agency Real Estate Service, and welcome to the agency.
Yeah. I got everything, yeah. 'Cause I got everything. I got everything, yeah, everything, I got everything.
Well, Dwanna, we've done a lot of talking off camera, but now we're officially on camera, and I guess before we get started, I just want to officially introduce you, to the fans. So tell the people who may not know who you are a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Okay, so I'm Dwanna Stanley, and I am a real estate broker here in the Central Mississippi area. I own a real estate firm, the Agency Real Estate Services, and I am a mother of one, Kendi, and I have a daughter. I'm from Greenwood, Mississippi, and I've been in Brandon for about 18 years now.
18 years?
18 years.
I didn't know it's been that long. Well, it's not like I asked. Well, I guess just to start it off, how's your night going so far? And thank you, first and foremost, thank you for opening your home up to the Dirty Napkins crew so we could film you here. Beautiful home.
Thank you.
I want to start there. Actually, I want to even start a little further back. My mom always told me, I told you my mom's from Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
Yeah.
She always told me, you never go to someone's house without a gift, so I got a gift for you.
Oh, really?
Yep. I hear a word on the street told me you like Chardonnay.
Oh.
So I bought you a bottle of Chardonnay.
Thank you.
That's my gift to you for you opening your
Awesome.
home up to us.
Oh, thank you.
So
This is gonna keep the door open for you.
All right, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start it off then. So you say you from Greenwood, right? So born and raised in Greenwood.
Born and raised in Greenwood, so I was there until I turned 18. Yeah.
And from Greenwood to Jackson.
Yeah. So I graduated high school May 26th of 2000, and I moved out and moved on campus May 28, 2000. And went to Jackson State. I was a cheerleader.
At Jackson State?
Yes.
Check you out.
Yeah, and so I was there until I got pregnant with my daughter. And then I kind of took off a couple of semesters, and then I went back to MC. So I ended up graduating from Mississippi College.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a complete culture shock.
Why was it important for you to leave Greenwood? Did you?
Yeah, it was very important for me to leave Greenwood. I love my hometown. A lot of my family's still there, but I just felt like I just had to get away. I feel like if I would have stayed there, I would have been lost. So the first opportunity I had, I left.
How's Jackson? I know we're just jumping right into it. How's Jackson treated you in your time here? I'm from Jackson, born and raised, thoroughbred. I tell everybody, thoroughbred Jackson guy. Yeah.
Really?
Proud to be from Jackson. But my question again to you is, how has Jackson treated you in your time here? You've been here, what, 18 years?
I've been here for 21 years actually.
Okay.
So I've been in Brandon for 18 years.
Brandon.
Jackson has treated me well. Like I absolutely love Mississippi, and I love the Central Mississippi area, and my heart is in Jackson. Okay. So I do a lot of community service in Jackson, and try to support the city as much as I can. Although I live right outside the city.
I get it. We'll talk about that a little later. So I guess my natural first question for you is probably what most people want to know is, how did you get into real estate? How did that whole thing start? Jackson State, you say you got pregnant, you took a few semesters off to reevaluate some things, went to Mississippi College, graduate, but how did you get from that to this?
So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and Mississippi College, one thing that it taught me, I was a business administration major, and it taught me when you graduate from college, it taught me when you're working, it taught me from an entrepreneur standpoint and not from an employee standpoint. And I got into property management maybe 15 years ago, and I actually always wanted to do real estate. I've always been obsessed with like large houses. I've always liked looking at houses. Okay. I was in property management, and it was hard for me to get a promotion. They gave me executive manager, they gave me multi-family manager, so I was managing multiple properties, but they never gave me the title of regional manager, and that's where like the 6-figure salary kicked in. Okay. And so I was doing all the regional manager duties.
What is property management?
I managed apartment communities. Okay. Yeah. So they would give me like 2-3 apartment communities to manage at a time, but they would never give me the actual regional manager, which is, the 6-figure salary. So I actually got my real estate license in order to open a property management company, and not so much as sell real estate. And but once I got into the field, it just kind of took off once I realized how uneducated we were about the home buying process, and looking at statistics saying that, the average black person is worth $11,000, but the average white person is worth $135,000. And a lot of us don't know that the first step in wealth is real estate and home ownership. So I made it my business to try to bridge that gap between African Americans and Caucasians by honestly making as many black people homeowners as I possibly can. So
why was that something you wanted to do? I mean, you could have very well, once you got your real estate license and obviously the 6-figure income kicked in, you could have very well just been like, oh, okay, I'm doing well. I came a long way from Greenville. Why was that important to you?
Greenwood. Everybody always get those mixed up. Yeah. Well, I think that you always hear the saying that once you get to a certain level, you need to reach your hand back to pick somebody else up, right? Yeah. And so that's something that's important to me. And if you don't know, you don't know, because even before I got into real estate, I also thought that you had to have 7-figure incomes, and you had to have, not 7-figure income, you had to have like a 700 credit score and all of that. And I had so many people calling me saying, I want to be a homeowner, right? And so I would do what everybody else would do, like, okay, go get pre-approved for a mortgage. And people would call me like so depressed because they weren't getting pre-approved. So I learned like as much as I could about credit repair I learned as much as I could about mortgages. Like I was having meetings with loan officers saying, hey, can you come talk to me about, what it takes to become a homeowner? And then I started preparing buyers when they come to me and they have a 480 credit score. I started preparing them to become homeowners. And it was just important for me to just try to bridge that gap because we find out information and we don't share it. And so I just wanted to hey, you can be a homeowner and it's, fairly easy. So.
Do you think we find out information and don't share it?
I know for a fact we find out information and don't share it.
And why you think that though? I'm just curious.
Well, I think that, I think that's just how in the Black community, when we were just raised to just kind of protect and, don't help and don't assist, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
We are real hush hush in terms of a lot of stuff in terms of finances or something like that. Like Black people, what do you want to know what my credit score is for? That's some sacrilegious shit. You don't want to tell nobody that.
Right.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
You've been scammed and you think that everything is like a scam. So, and we've been raised around our parents may have been on Section 8, and so that cycle just continues and not realizing that you can work at a grocery store and become a homeowner. So,
Speaking of being raised, right? Let's go back a little bit in time, back to Greenwood. Yeah, I want to make sure I get it right. I didn't want you to snap on me. Greenwood. Going back to Greenwood, do you think 10-year-old D thought you'd be here?
Yeah, most definitely. Even when I was a kid, my mom, the rest her soul, she's always, you think you're more than everybody. So I got it a lot. I've always been a leader. I'm the oldest of 5, and I, told all my sisters and my little brother what to do. Still do to this day.
What's your family dynamic like? And again, like I told you before we got started, if I ask a question that's a little too much, you just be like, all right, Taylor, that's enough.
We're good.
But what's your family dynamic like then? You say you're the oldest of 5. How's that relationship?
It's great. They do what I say. So
They do what you say.
Yeah. You know what? And honestly, not being funny, the thing is, I'm honored that my siblings, they actually look up to me. They come to me for advice. They come to me, about questions that they have, and they actually think that I'm an amazing person. So it's one thing for for other people on the outside to think, oh man, she's great. But it's another thing for people that, your family to actually think it. And we lost our mom. It'll be a year next month.
Oh, it's
so
sorry for that, by the way.
Thank you. So even with that, it's like, we're a lot close. Well, we were already close. We don't fight, we don't argue, anything like that. But after losing her, it's kind of like I just became like the matriarch of the family. So, yeah.
So, and obviously, I think the answer to this question is going to be yes, just based off the home, right? I think again, I have to tell you, I think you have a really nice home.
Thank you.
But do you think, your mom would be like right now, man, my baby is making me proud,
She would be. She told me a lot when she was here that she was proud of me.
That's good.
And she loved and was proud of all her children. None of us are on drugs, and most of us are college graduates. And so she did a really good job. So I know that she was proud of me. And actually, her last 30 days of living, she stayed here with me. So. So it was, I know that she was proud of me. She, even up until she was unable to communicate, she really know that. Yeah.
Well, let me liven things up a little bit. So let's talk about you are the owner of the agency, correct?
Yes.
Where did that start? How did you go? Because you told me when we were pre-production, you're I got 50 people, and you were real adamant about they work with you in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's boss talk, you know what I mean? But how did you get from, I guess, your first person working with you to 50? And why did you even start the agency? I guess that's an even better question.
Honestly, when I got my broker's license, I worked on opening the agency for about 11 months. When I was just a regular agent, I was a very successful single agent, and I had a lot of people to reach out to me, like, how do you do it? Can you mentor me? Or can you help me? Or what are your marketing plans? And what I did before I opened the agency, I kind of like, I kind of used agents from like all over the United States, like in Baltimore and New Jersey and Georgia and Texas, like agents that I kind of like told them, they reached out and I kind of told them my techniques and told them things I was doing, and it worked. So it worked for them and they became highly successful. So I knew that I could go more in depth with agents here and train them. I didn't think that the agency would grow as much as big as it has in the past 2 years. I didn't think that.
So I want to clarify something before I let you keep going. So you were an agent before the agency.
Yes, I was a real estate agent for another firm.
So how does that work, right? Like I'm a bit ignorant to this whole business, because we were talking. You were like, oh, this person, I'm not gonna say details. You was like, oh, these people only charge like 1%, and I want to ask you how much you charge, but I was like, okay, 1% don't sound like a lot. You know what I mean? Like that don't sound like a lot. But I don't know shit about real estate. So how does this whole thing, like, when you started as a broker, like, do you start off working for another firm, or like did you start off working for yourself and then said I'm gonna build an agency? Okay. Just talk to me a little bit about that process.
Okay, so in the state of Mississippi or anywhere, if you have to start out as a licensed real estate agent first, right? And you have to be under a real estate broker. Like you just can't get your license just I'm a practice real estate without being under a broker, right? So you start out under a broker. So I was a real estate agent under another broker. And then now that I'm a broker, I have real estate agents under me. Real estate is, you're basically a business owner. They're 1099, they're 1099 workers. So you have to just be licensed under a broker. And how it works is the real estate agents pay the broker a percentage of their commission in order to be licensed under them. So that's how a broker makes money.
Okay. And a broker being like I don't want to name drop, but just like a one of these big branded firms per se, right? Like every time you see like this big realty firm or something like that, that would be considered a broker?
A brokerage, yes.
A broker, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
All right, so you started off working under one of those and you went from there to starting the agency.
Yes.
What transpired in between there? Was it just because you wanted to be an entrepreneur that made you say, all right, you know what, I want to start my own brokerage and have people working under me? Or did something transpire that kind of gave you that push to make you do that?
Well, honestly, it was all God. So I had got my broker's license, and then I was like, you know what? Okay, so let me just try to open my real estate firm. So I worked on it, and I literally just, when I decided to work on my firm, I knew that I had to have like top-notch everything. I knew that I had to have top-notch technology. I knew I had to have top-notch marketing. If I even wanted to not compete, because I don't compete with people, but just to be able to stand out amongst the larger firms, I knew that I just had to have the best. And honestly, we expect a lot from us, you know. So I wanted to make sure that any agent that walked through my door, they left feeling like they were going to get the training that they needed. They were going to have the technology that they needed. So basically, building a firm, and it's so crazy that I'm about to say this, I had everything done. I got my real estate license, my broker's license in January of 2018. And I worked on it all the way up until September. I had wrote my 90, 60, 30-day exit plan in order to leave the firm that I was with and start my own firm. I went to Aruba in September of 2018. And I came from Aruba and had changed my mind. I was not going to open the agency. I was just going to stay with the firm I was with and start a team. I didn't want to take all the risk. I was like, forget it, I'm not going to do it. The day that I came back from Aruba, I actually had a closing. And I went to my closing and I went to turn in my check to the firm, and I could not walk through the door. Like I went to the door, and it was like God himself was pushing me out the door. I couldn't walk through the door to turn in the check. So I called the girl that was working in the office. I was like, hey, can you come and get this check for me? And she was like, what's wrong? I was like, I could not walk through the door. And she came outside, got the check. I handed her the check. I got in my car, and I called this guy, and I was like, hey, do you have any office space for rent? I had a number in my head that I wanted to spend on this office space. The office space was $2,000 more than a month than I wanted to spend. And I was like, well, this is all I got.
$2,000 a month?
It was $2,000 more a month
than you wanted to spend.
That I wanted to spend. My budget was $1,500. They wanted $3,500. I said, oh, I got $1,500. And he was like, all right, I'll take $1,500.
Hey, overshoot. Damn, you won't come down $2,000.
Shit, he came down to and you know, that's why I tell everybody, like, it was all God.
Yeah.
Because it was so easy. Like it was owned by like 2 businessmen. It wasn't owned by a big corporation that needed financials and profit loss statements, and they didn't need all of that. So it was so easy, and everything that I had worked on for the past 9 months at that time, it came so easy, and it was all God. And when I had my grand opening December 19th, I had just to introduce my firm to people, and I invited real estate agents, vendors, and everybody. And that was December 19th. December 26th, I had 2 agents to sign. I was not expecting it.
Sign with you?
To sign with me. By January, I had like 5 agents. I was like, what?
That fast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
December 2019, my first year, I ended it with 20 agents. And December 2020, I ended it with 41 agents. And it's March 2021, I have 50 agents. So yes, it has grown tremendously the last.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I got 2 questions I want to go into. I'm trying to see I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna ask this question first. So you mentioned like just the risks you had to take and stuff like that. When you were going through this process, right? I want you to think about the whole process in its entirety. What would you say was one of the biggest sacrifices you made? And then I want you to think about that sacrifice and tell me, when you look back on it, was it worth it?
Hold on, stop. I'm not gonna cry. I think the biggest sacrifice I made with going through the process of opening my firm and being successful was the time that I was not able to spend with my daughter. And she has been like a trooper through it all, because she has been, when I quit my job, I was able to attend like her cheer competitions and all of that. When me trying to open this firm, like it was a lot of like sleepless nights, it was a lot of crying, it was a lot of things that personal times that I had to sacrifice with her. So that was like the biggest sacrifice that I had to make with opening, this firm. I talked to her a lot. I can't say that I regret it, because me making the sacrifice I've made to get to where I am today have afforded her a life that she's able to enjoy, a life that I was never able to have at her age. But that's like the biggest sacrifice that I've had to make.
Was it worth it?
It was 100% worth it. It was 100% worth it.
Okay. Well, I wanna talk about it a little bit. I heard you mention Paul, one of the producers. I always like to make sure I plug my guy. But I heard you mention him that you're single, right? So I guess the natural question is, well, that's not the natural question. My first question is how hard is it to date you?
I don't think that it's hard to date me. I think that the stereotype around successful women.
And what's the stereotype around successful women?
That we're not able to be submissive, or that we're controlling.
Are you submissive and controlling?
I don't think that I'm controlling.
Okay.
I think that with me, I think that and to be submissive is, what am I submitting to?
Okay.
So you just have to be a man's man. Like you can't be.
What kind of guy you like? That's the natural question then, I guess. You say you gotta be a man's man. Okay, that's step one. But what kind of guy you like? For the gentlemen watching this, they like, all right, I want a shot at D. I see the house, I see the crib. I want in. So what kind of guy do you like? What's your type?
I like.
This is a safe space, by
I
the way.
know it's a safe space. I like. So I like a guy who like has a little, like a little. I like guys who come from like the same background I come from. You know what I'm saying? I don't like guys who have been spoon fed. I don't like guys who were born with silver spoons in their mouths. You know, I feel like guys like that, if something goes down, if they lose their job, if they don't know how to survive. I like, I would rather date an entrepreneur. Like I would rather date a person who,
Do you think then, kind of where you are right now, do you think it's hard to, I don't want to say match, but that's the only word I can think of that really works. Do you think it's hard to like match with someone, or like, do you think I don't want to say intimidated either.
I think guys are intimidated by successful women. Like that's the world that we live in. I think that if guys start thinking less about the amount of money that they make, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be hard. I don't know, like it's gonna be hard to make more money than I made. It is gonna not everybody, but
Okay,
it's
humble
gonna
brag.
be. No, I'm just saying like it's gonna be.
Fellas, that's a tall task. She told.
No, so I just think that it's gonna be like, don't think about money. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is not about money. I can finance myself. So it's not about what you can do like for me financially. Is what you can do. Like, are you gonna be loyal? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna embarrass me when I'm not around? Are you gonna protect me? You know what I'm saying? If something were to happen and everything crumbles, are you able to pick up the slack? If I have an issue, you want to come in and air that bitch out.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I like.
This is the D I wanted to. This is the D.
That's what I like. So I like a man's man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like. Like, don't be intimidated by what I do. I'm a very loyal person. If I'm dating you, I'm dating you.
Okay. Speaking, and we'll probably come back to dating. I like to just kind of keep the conversation live. I'm not a real structured journalist.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
So the question is just naturally coming to my mind. We're talking about women. We're talking about just like, the struggles of being a successful woman. I want to talk to you about like, what is the dynamic of being a Black woman in real estate in Mississippi like? I know it's a lot of layers, right? But in a lot of ways, Mississippi gets this bad rap. I think it's a bad rap. A lot of people look at us like we're just this slow to progress state. In a lot of ways, we are. We are. Fair enough. I won't debate that. I don't think we're as slow as people make us out to be, but in a lot of ways, we are slow. But being a Black woman in Mississippi, running a successful real estate firm, how have you been accepted in the real estate community? Did you have any battles in that community as a Black woman, or as just a woman, whatever you want, whatever angle you want to talk about?
I think, just being a Black successful woman, period, there was an article written stating, do Black women glamorize real estate too much? You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain, before you keep going, I hate to make you stop your thought. I won't let you forget it. I'll bring you back here. But can you explain to me what that means? Like, Black women glamorize real estate too much? Like, what exactly was that article intending with that? Are they saying y'all too like flashy?
Basically, yeah. Yes. I think that as Black, not only Black women, but as Black people all together, we literally need to normalize living luxury. You know what I'm saying? And we don't. And so what happens is when you do see Black people and Black women in particular live in luxury, we kind of like have this stigma about them. We feel like they're doing too much. We feel like We feel like they think that they're more than anybody. We feel like, we just feel like, it's like we feel like we don't deserve to live a luxury lifestyle, and we actually do. And so that had one of my struggles in being a Black successful real estate agent in the state of Mississippi. It's like there's a lot of eyes on my firm. You know what I'm saying? So I do a crap load of training. I'm real big on marketing. I'm real big on how they represent themselves. All of my agents know that it's the agency first, and then everything else secondary. So whatever you do, you have to think about the firm first. Even in your personal life, you have to be careful what you post on social media, because if you're a part of this firm, people are going to look at that, and they're not going to judge you. They're going to judge the entire firm. So it's hard because we always have to have this image before we have anything else, because they're looking for us to do something. They're looking for us to mess up. They're looking for us to say something bad so that we can become the topic of something negative. So it's hard. It's hard. It is very hard. It's stressful, but.
And that make a lot of sense. That's why I wanted to ask you that question. But going back to the topic that we were talking about prior to that. So when you talk about going through all of that being in play, and you say, all right, I'm a Black woman, I'm a Black entrepreneur moreover than anything, right? And I'm gonna start a real estate firm. Was that met with any opposition, or like was it pretty seamless?
Oh, hell no, it wasn't seamless.
Well, talk.
So the thing, opening the firm and getting everything set up, that was pretty easy. It was pretty easy. It was, as far as the behind the scenes, and the hardest thing about the behind the scenes is me getting my phones set up. Phones are not like they used to be back in the day where you just plug them up and they work. It's like a whole different ball game when you get a phone system working. That was like the hardest thing. But as far as getting my firm set up and getting, I was so nervous about getting agents. A lot of agents left, I have a lot of transfer agents, which means they transferred from another real estate firm to my firm. It wasn't met with opposition on my side, but when they were trying to leave the firm that they were with, it was like, oh, you don't want to go there. She's not going to make it. This is what the broker was telling. Like, she's not going to make it. She's not going to be successful.
Really?
Yes, it was crazy. It was like, she won't be able to make you $1 million producer. She won't be able to, make you successful. Like, it was, and I'm so glad they didn't listen, because the same women that they told not to come are top producing agents in our area. Like, literally my first year, 2019, my firm, out of 319 firms, we finished number 37 in our MLS. And then last year,
I don't really know what that means, but it sounds good.
Yes, and last year, 2020, we closed on like $38 million in real estate, and my firm finished number 27 out of 318 firms. And currently this year, we're like number 15. We've already closed on over $10 million in real estate this year. So, I'm blessed. We put in the work, and we are,
But when you had those firms like talking about you and saying stuff, well, I won't say talking about you, but telling those agents like, oh, you don't want to go work for her. She's not gonna produce. She's not gonna make you $1 million agent. Yada yada. How did that make you feel as the business owner, as the entrepreneur?
Oh, I didn't care. I knew what I had. I knew the training that I had. I knew what I had, and so I didn't care. My thing is, my ultimate goal is to be the number one real estate firm in Central Mississippi. So I don't care. And so as long as I keep my vision on, headed to the top, I'll make it. So I don't listen to that, because if I get caught up in what other people are saying, or it'll knock me off my games. I don't care. I do not care.
Well, for you to not care about something like that, I probably would care. I guess I'm a little more petty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I do want to ask you then, what quality do you feel? Because I mean, that's a strong mindset, right? Like, most people would not take kindly like other firms and talking about you like that, and for you to openly know that, like, oh, they saying this about me. what qualities, personality traits, when I say qualities, what personality traits do you think make you you?
Faith.
Faith.
Yeah. I manifest a lot. Like, I look in the mirror every single day and I say, you know, you're gonna be great. Like, you're gonna be successful and you're gonna get 50 agents. Or my goal this year is to, you know, obtain 60 agents. I'm gonna have 60 agents this year. So I cannot eat what's on my plate if I'm worried about what's on yours. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a damn what you eat.
That's a good point. And you bring up fate. I got a fate question I always like to ask if anybody brings it up. I usually don't ask it, but you brought it up, so I'm gonna ask it. Right? Do you think that a person shapes their own destiny, or do you believe in like fate? Right? Do you believe that obviously, just from talking to you, you strike me as a woman of, like I said, religion. I don't know that. I don't really care for your answer on that. But my question is, do you believe in fate, or do you believe that a person being you, shapes your own destiny? You shape your own path and things like that.
I mean, to me, it's one and the same. So I can't have faith that my house is gonna get clean if I don't get up and clean. Well, call my cleaning people to come clean.
No, you didn't. Just say.
I want to sit here and lie like I clean my house myself, but you know,
You got people for that.
Yeah.
I need to get to selling some houses.
I can't say that this is going to be done because I have faith. I have to put in the work. You know, faith without work is dead. So, you know what I'm saying? So I can't say that I just have faith it's going to get done and just pray that it's going to get done without putting in the work. I like actually put in the work. So I work my ass off, and I don't care about whatever is coming against me because it's gonna work, and I don't care about whatever rocks you throw against me. You know what they say, no weapon formed against me
shall prosper.
and it's not. You know, so I have faith in whatever I put my mind to, I'm gonna do it. And a lot of people don't understand the power of manifestation. Like,
Do you? But let's talk about that though, right? Because I'm a bit of a, I don't want to say a skeptic, but I struggle with being. I'm an extremely practical guy, right? Like when we talk about practicality, like I firmly believe in stuff I can see, touch, feel, all of that. So when you talk about manifestation, that's more of a mindset. Why do you believe in manifestation so much? Why do you feel so strongly about manifestation?
Right. Because I feel like when whatever you put out into the universe, I feel like the universe is like a boomerang. Whatever you put out there is going to come back. So if you're a negative person and you put out negative energy, that's what you're going to get is negative energy. If you're a positive person, you put out positive energy, that's what you're going to get back, positive energy. So a lot of people, they don't understand why things are not going right for them because they're just not good people. You know what I'm saying? And if you feel like something is not going to work, that's your mindset. So that's what you're putting out there. So everything that if you feel like it's not going to work, and that's the type of effort you're going to put into it. But if you feel like something's going to work, it's going to work out, and that it's going to be successful, you're going to put that energy into it. You see what I'm saying? And like literally, it was.
So would you say it's a lot of the action you put behind it though? Because I hear you. I hear you when you say like, okay, this is what I'm manifesting, this is what I'm doing. But I'm also hearing you say, this is what I'm working for, this is what I'm working towards.
So let me give you an example. I have some agents, and I tell my agents all the time, like they'll say that they want it, but they speak negatively over their business. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna happen, or I keep getting buyers who can't get pre-approved and all of that. And I tell them, you can speak positively into your business. You get up and you say, oh, I'm gonna get buyers pre-approved, but you also have to go and do the work, you know what I'm saying? And so one of my agents literally, who I'm on her a lot, and I tell her all the time, like, stop saying that your buyer's not gonna get pre-approved. When somebody calls you, don't think that they're automatically not gonna get pre-approved. You said that this is going to be a good buyer and this is going to work out, and she started doing that, and she sent me a pre-approval letter today for one of her buyers for $360,000. You know what I'm saying? So if you put out negative energy, that's what you're going to attract. You know, you can be practical, but if you put out negative energy, you're going to attract negative energy.
I got
You know what I'm saying? But if you put out positive energy and you're being good
You
to
may
people,
have
that's what
converted
you do.
me.
Yeah,
You
let me
might-
convert you.
You might have converted me a little
I
bit.
remember my friends, like I have like the best group of friends
Okay.
ever. They're absolutely amazing. All of my entrepreneurs, all of them are successful in their own right. And like these are the things that we talk about. So even if I have something, an idea of a business I want to start or a direction I want to go with my firm, I pick up the phone, I call one of my friends, and I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And they like, okay, you know what? In order to make this work, this is what we can do, or this is what you can do. And it's just that positivity and then, you know, that support that you have that makes it like, you know, it's important that you surround yourself around good people.
So do you think your friend circle is, you know, it's like this saying that always floats around where they say like, show me your friends, I'll show you your worth. Do you believe in something like that?
I live by that. I tell people all the time, you show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you where you'll be in 5 to 10 years. Like, I mean, it's evident. I cut a lot of people off. There are a lot of people that I'm not friends with anymore, period, because of the energy that they portray. And because of the type of lifestyle that they live. They were negative people, so I cut them off. My close friends are people that I've been friends with for the past like 7 years. So people that I'm friends with, you know, I still have my best friend from high school. I still have friends that I was friends with, but they're not my day-to-day friends. My everyday friends are like people I've been friends with for the past 7 years. I quit, I think I got my real estate license in 2013, 14 or something like that. I quit my full-time job 2015. So the agency,
Wait a minute, I didn't know that. You got your real estate license in like 13?
Yeah.
I thought you got your
14.
real estate license. You done all of this in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, sure, it's several years, but like, for you to go from where you just explained to us you went from to owning an agency with 50 agents, and you did that in what, 6 years?
I quit my full-time job December 1st, 2015 to do real estate.
6 years.
Yep.
You did that in 6 years.
Yep.
My drink is empty. I need to give me another drink. I'm gonna take a drink. I need to cheers or toast you to that. That's a hell of an accomplishment.
Awesome.
That's a hell of an accomplishment. So we're gonna take a little break real quick.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So I just picking up where we left out. You do consider Greenwood the Delta though, right?
Yes, it's the heart of the Delta.
Okay.
Cotton capital of the world.
Now your sister said, I ain't say this. Your sister said this, not me. She was talking about how y'all came up. Why you ain't tell me about that?
You know, I come from a poor family. You know, we didn't have much. You know, but you know.
But that's a beautiful thing to talk about when you talk about where you came from to where you are.
Yes.
And you think about what you're doing for your family, like you putting your sister in a position. I seen the way she was critiquing my notes. She was like, I don't know what you gonna talk about on this point. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you feel what I'm saying? You putting your family in position. So, you know, what would you say to somebody who may be coming from a situation similar to yours that may not think they have a way out? What would you tell them?
You know what? I feel like I can be the poster child from, because we grew up in poverty. It was 5 kids, and we lived in like a 2-bedroom house. It was 4 girls and 1 boy. So the girls, we had that bunk bed where it was like a full-size bed at the bottom, and then it was like the twin-size bunk bed at the top. So all the girls slept at the bottom bunk. My brother slept at the top, and it was crazy. Like we were like dirt poor, like hand-me-down poor. But I also feel like it just kind of made me the person that I am. If I had to do it all over again, I would have taken the exact same life. I'm just appreciative for, you know, what I have and where I am, and that's another reason why I say, like, I don't care what people say, because I know where I came from. Like, I literally came from the slums. But 1620 Main Street, apartment 9B, Sloan Jones, like, that's where I grew up.
You won't forget.
Man, never. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about helping us, because I know where I came from. I know where I am. I remember one time I had this guy who wanted to list some houses. He like had a lot of rental houses he wanted to get rid of. And I went to, he had them in like mostly West Jackson. And I went to West Jackson, and me and my daughter because I didn't want to go by myself. And she was helping me put the signs out. And people were like, who are you? Who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm the real estate agent. And like, they had never seen a black real estate agent before. They wanted to they were taking photos. They were just so excited. And that moment made me realize how far removed I was from where I came from. And so I was like super passionate. You'll find me a lot of times on my social media saying, okay, I'm gonna help so many single moms like pay their light bill this month.
You do that?
Yes, I do. I'm passionate about
dope.
single moms.
Like, that's dope, man.
I know where I was. I know where I started. I'll never forget it. And sometimes God do little things to just kind of remind us, And I'm not ashamed of where I'm from. I tell people all the time, like, I know where I came from. So nothing you can do to embarrass me, to make me feel bad. I literally got it out the mud with no handouts. My parents didn't have good credit to help me do anything. They weren't, my dad he's not educated. My mom, she was single with 5 kids and trying to go to college, but she wasn't a business person, you know what I'm saying? So everything I got, I am the epitome of like got it out the mud.
I was just gonna ask you then, right? So when you say your mom's not a business person, right? Like, how did you end up with this high business IQ, like with this? Because from what I can tell, obviously, I don't know you inside and out like that, but just from listening to you and the time we've been sitting together tonight, from what I can tell, you seem to have a very high business IQ, right? How did this just come natural to you? Like, how did you get there, I guess is my question.
So the first person that I ever knew, like personally, to own a business was my aunt, Alice. I remember, when I was young, she used to wash hair for like this little white hair salon in North Greenwood, and she ended up opening her own little shop in the back of her house. She built like a little shop from the shed, and she was like the first business person that I knew, and in my eyes, she was like successful. She was like the first successful woman. And I looked up to her. I was excited. I was happy for her. And I was like, dog, like she was the person in the family that everybody went to borrow money from. So
I know.
So she was that person.
I know
and
that
I was like, dog, like I want to have money like her when I grow up. And like I said, when I went to I don't want to say it because I don't want to feel like I'm talking down on HBCUs. But when I went to Jackson State, they taught you more from when you go work for Morgan Freeman. And MC taught me from the standpoint of when you open your own business. And so that I was like, oh man, I can really do this. You know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, I started little businesses in the past. And,
Mr. Taylor, your name, sir.
Oh, awesome.
Well, I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I mean, it's just natural. We just finished this over dinner or something like that.
Perfect.
Cool
Yeah,
with it?
cool.
All right, cool. All right. Tune in. Let's go get some napkins, Dirty.
Guys, this is Chef JB with the dish of the week. Today's dish, we're bringing you surf and turf with a tomahawk steak with a crab stuffed lobster tail, sweet potato mash, and asparagus. For any private chef needs or catering events, be sure to follow me as chef.jbz on Instagram.
Everybody want to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. Hey, why not? Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. iron while I got the steamer. I bring the fire, but you never seen her. I testify, I don't need a subpoena. They want my soul, better go to Korea. I love my dog just like I'm Peter. Gotta protect him. I made the call up, but just like I'm reffing. I know we left, yeah, now we back together, but I guess that is better now. Later than never, like, what's happening? I'ma need y'all quit asking when. Me and my wife gon' have some kids. Right now we just practicing. Practicing. Teacher said quit rapping, man. That gon' hurt my average. I said thank God I ain't average. Yeah, I'm a bright young man. Kill the GPA and the BPM. Look, we on. So say what you say, cause that's A with Lecrae. From the A train to the A, I'm coming in hot. I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Coming in. Shoot that shot. Hey, why not? Hey, yeah. I'm coming in.
Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. Wake 'em up, wake 'em up. See him still sleeping, so I had to shake 'em up. I kept it too real. I wasn't faking up. My real life was a headline. Your real life got a deadline. My timeline was a hashtag. Your timeline just a hate crime. Coming in hot, feeling like Pac. Back in 94 when he took 5 shots. Too much drive to ride your wave. Ditch my top and I'm off that lot.
I got a question for you, JB, for you dip. Man, that big ass steak, man. Like how like how do we eat this? Do we just cut a nice chunk off and put it on, you know?
Yeah, man, could you start off on the top and cut you a nice chunk off of it, man?
Okay, all right, cool.
It looks so good. I cannot wait.
Okay, all right. Well, can we go and get started on this or what?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. Well,
Awesome.
ladies first. I'll let you cut the first piece.
So
You got your cutlery over there. I'll let you take the first piece.
So do I just need to
Yeah, you say like you heard the man of the hour. You can get that whole lobster tail. That's yours. I think they for us.
Ooh,
Yeah. Nah, I like that meat, so you know. You
Whoa,
go and get you a piece.
I'm glad ladies. Okay. Ladies first.
Yeah, ladies first. I'm a gentleman now. You know. All right. Ooh, he cooked that motherfucker. I seen the inside of it. He got it right.
I need to get another little piece.
Okay, well, after me. And then you can get another piece.
It looks
Then you
so
get another
good.
piece after me.
Oh,
Yeah, this here right. I like the way y'all do business. Y'all got a lot of class.
yeah, y'all got a lot of class.
Dirty Napkin, they got a lot of class about this.
Yes, Dirty
You know
Napkin
what I'm
features
saying?
surf and turf.
Man, feature the good stuff.
And my favorite food in the world is sweet turkey.
Before we get started with this conversation, get this conversation started back, I'm gonna try a little bit of this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Wipe off the butter.
You're practical. You don't say grace.
I don't, but let's say grace. I know people gonna be like, oh, he's sacrilegious. But I'm gonna let you bust a prayer down. Now, if you say that prayer on camera, you gotta say it out loud.
I say it out loud.
You got to say it out loud. I don't do them in the head prayers. Do you just say amen? Then I say amen back. I need to know how you blessing us.
Okay, so God blesses food.
I hold hand where we from. Yeah, that's how I do it where I'm from.
So God blesses food that we're about to eat. Please let it go to muscle and not fat. Amen.
Yeah, I grew up. My granddaddy was a preacher out in Crystal Springs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My dad is a preacher.
Oh, you a preacher's kid? That say everything. That say everything I need.
What did it say?
You know, yeah, they're good. That crab meat good.
Ooh, it's so good.
That crab meat good. Ooh,
Appreciate y'all.
I don't even like asparagus because asparagus be too thick for me. And I don't really like crunchy, but I can tell by the way I cut that, I'm like this. Yeah, he do this cooking stuff. So deep. I got a few more points I want to talk to you about, just getting into your business a little bit more. Not even on that type of level, but you've done a lot, you've achieved a lot. I think in a lot of ways you should be, I think you are proud of yourself, but in a lot of ways you should be, in a lot of ways you should be very proud. But I want to know who inspires you? Like who inspires you? Celebrity, non-celebrity, influencer, socialite, who inspires thee?
I can't say that I'm inspired by like anyone.
Nobody inspires you?
I cannot
Okay,
say
that's
I'm
fair.
inspired. I can say that I'm motivated by, just being able to build a legacy. When last year, I looked into doing ancestry.com to just kind of find out my lineage. And when I was looking, I could not find anybody from my past that like stood out, that was successful, that did anything to make me say, oh my God, I'm proud of this person. And I started thinking, like, when my descendants, you know, go back to research their ancestors, I want them to be able to find me and find somebody that they're proud of. And you know, my daughter, I want her to be able to just kind of have somebody to look up to. Like when she does any type of program at school and they ask her, you know, who's her hero or who she looks up to, she always like lists her mom, and that's like the greatest. It was kind of crazy. She started, I'm like, what? And to this day, they ask her, you know, like who's your role model, and she always says her mom, and that like means more to me than anything else. I just can't think of like one person, but she just like motivates me to be like the best person that I can be, and she motivates me to just keep going. So I can't say that I'm inspired by like any one person. I cannot think of one person that I look at and like, okay, they like inspire me.
That's a unique answer.
Yeah, I know. Like most people look at like celebrities, and it's just not one person. I look at like, oh my God.
Nobody in real estate. You like, oh damn, that'd be dope.
Most definitely nobody in real estate. And I know
you
that's
big
weird.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that. But I think that like in real estate, the thing about real estate is that there are not a lot of, and there are very successful people. You know, you got Gary Keller. Very successful people in real estate, but
Gary Keller, he in real estate?
Gary Keller, he's the owner of Keller Williams. Like he's like the founder.
He wrote a book I absolutely fucking love.
Which one? The One Thing?
The One Thing.
Yeah, it's a really good book. Yeah.
And he's a realtor?
He's starting Keller Williams. That's like the owner.
I don't know nothing about no real estate. I told you that at the top of the show. I don't know nothing about this.
He's the owner, founder of KW.
Yeah. That book is good.
Yeah. So yeah.
You done taught me something. I'm so, man.
Yeah.
I'm just getting all kind of free game over here.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's like, so it's just like, it's not like one person, you know, just that like inspires, you know.
Is there an area in your life right now where you lack like discipline, or area in your life right now where you have some weakness or vulnerability? If so, what area is that? Shopping.
It is horrible.
You have a shopping problem?
I have a very bad. It's very bad.
You a high-end person? You like high-end stuff? Well, like, talk to me. What's your habits?
It's bad. I shop. You know, like it doesn't matter if it's high-end or not. So I do like high-end, but I'm
with you. I'm
like
not a high-end guy.
Facebook ads.
They got
people
you.
Like me. Oh.
They get you.
Oh.
From the comfort of your couch, you gonna spend it.
What? Like I was one night, Felicia was I think she was braiding my hair, and she was like, and I was on Facebook. I was, ooh. She said, you spend one more thing. like Facebook, they target people like what? Like clothes and I'm a real big supporter of black businesses, like black boutiques. Let me get out mine.
Yeah.
Yes, if I like it, I'm buying it. So I clothes, stuff for the house, stuff for my office, like. We're moving into a larger office space, and I set a budget. Like I said, I'm just going to spend $1,000 a day. I think they went on for about how many days? Yeah, about 19 days, spending $1,000 a day to buy new stuff for the office.
Shopping?
Yeah.
You spent $1,000 a day for 19 days shopping. I ain't good in math. I ain't never been good in math, but that's like 19. That's 19 grand, right? Yeah, $100, $1,000 a day. That's 19 grand. You spend 19 grand shopping for your office. Yeah, you may do have a problem.
I do, even with the house. So like I think I have. I think this is like maybe the 4th sofa in the past year.
That couch?
And I need to get rid of this because it's too fucking comfortable.
Why do you buy this stuff? Like, let's talk about that real quick. I know I gotta wrap up here in a second. But why what's the deal?
I think I I get bored with things easily. So I like to, change it up, a little bit. I think that's what I do the same thing with relationships.
We talked about that. So you get bored in
A
relationships.
little bored.
That's your thing. That's your problem, huh?
No, basically. I need a little excitement.
Don't we all?
A little change of scenery. So like I get bored and I decide to like change. I'm not first purchased this house. I painted the entire house white just so I can have a blank canvas and just be able to like change it whenever.
I think the more I talk to you, the more I understand the control issues you say you have.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I do.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up. But before I do, we like to do this thing. Well, I like to do this. I keep saying we. I like to do this thing where I want to make sure that people watching this, I think you've given a lot of good advice. I think you've given a lot of good wisdom and just quote unquote game, right, to people. But I want to ask you directly, what is something you'd like to leave the viewers or the people who are watching this episode with? What's one, and it could be words of encouragement, it could be a quote that you live by, it could be anything, but leave them with something. What is that? What do you want to leave them with?
I like to tell people all the time, just be unapologetically yourself. A lot of times we try to mimic the people that we are inspired by, and we just never know what goes on behind closed doors. So just be unapologetically yourself. I know a lot of times entrepreneurs, let me say what I hate about a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of times, because before the thing we talked about, social media, and I was telling you you can be anything you want to be on social media. A lot of times people look at your middle or your end and they try to compare their beginning. I have so many people reaching out to me like, oh, I want to be a real estate agent, because they only see the glamorous part. They don't see all of the work that it took to get to where you are. And they see the photos of clothes and they see you doing photo shoots and you're looking glamorous, and they think that that's what it's all about. And before I dabble into any business, or anything that I do, anything that I invest in, I research the area for about 6 months. I think the one thing that really gets to me is you will see somebody who may have never done eyebrows in their life, and they decide to go to an eyebrow class, take an eyebrow class, they get a certificate, and now, I'm ready to do eyebrows, I'm gonna charge $250. Without actually understanding the business, without actually understanding or going and say, okay, I need 30, 40 people to do eyebrows, like to practice your craft. And we're looking for that instant gratification and don't want to do their work going into it. And like, people really need to understand, like, it's so much work behind the scenes, and it's so much that you need to learn and do before I decide to sell you a t-shirt. I feel like if you decide to open a boutique, you need to know about all types of fabrics. You know what I'm saying? You need to actually know how to dress. Versus, going to like a site that you find that sells clothes that you can only be now finna open a boutique. And I think with our society, we look for the instant gratification, and we are so pissed when it doesn't make it. And I think that's what causes a lot of animosity amongst us, because you see me doing well in real estate. You decide to go get your real estate license, and you take a few pictures and you're mad because you're not successful. But you don't know the work and the phone calls I made, and
a long night.
Yes, like my first 2019, probably it's 365 days in a year. Probably 275 days or 75 nights of 2019, I went to bed in the fetal position crying because I was so stressed out. Really? I had a full staff. Like, I had to literally work my tail off and personally, bring in so much money in order to continue to make that firm run. And people don't see that. They see the 50 agents, They see that the firm is successful. They see that I have, successful agents, but they don't see the work that went into it. So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna open a real estate firm. Okay, you open it, but it's just so much work that went into it, and so many sleepless nights. And a lot of people don't think about that. They only want the rewards, but they don't want to work for it.
What pisses you off?
Some of the things I just said, like basically just people wanting the instant gratification.
I got
you.
you.
That bothers the hell out of me, and just feeling like I can do it because you're doing it. So I want to be just as successful as you, and I think that social media just kind of start a blurred line with that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, to wrap us on up, tell the people where they can find you. The people who want to come find Dwanna, or my good friend D,
yes,
as I'd like to call you now. Tell them where they can find you.
So I'm next time on Facebook. So you can find me on Instagram. It's _D Stanley.
All right, cool. Well, I don't have any more questions, but actually I'm lying. I have a ton more questions for you. I'll keep asking you some off camera. I know I got to wrap up for the sake of the interview, but hey, I want to say it's been a pleasure talking with you. But and this is a token of appreciation from the entire team. This is not from me. This is from the entire Dirty Napkin staff, from the top all the way down.
Awesome.
We are super appreciative of you taking the time to and not only you taking the time, you letting us into your home, right? Like, you didn't have to do that. You let us into your home. You let Chef JB cook in your kitchen. You let me get comfortable on your couch. I appreciate that. But from the entire team, we just want to say thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to even be considered, so I appreciate it.
Well, okay. Well, we don't have anything else for you, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of your hair for the night.
Awesome.
Right? So, D, it was a pleasure. I think the conversation was beautiful. I can't wait till the people see it.
Same here. Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed our interview with Dwanna. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Dirty Napkins. Until next time, I'm about to enjoy this steak that my boy Chef JB prepared. It's your host, Taylor.
Success is never owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every day. Every day when my feet hit the floor, I know there's another opportunity to fulfill my dreams. Opening my own firm, I wanted to have the best. I wanted the best agents, the best technology, the best training, and the best marketing. I worked diligently for 11 months to open my firm, 11 months of working and researching. I knew what I wanted it to look like, to be like, the culture, and the feel. Having the largest Black-owned woman firm in the Southeast United States, I'm often asked, what is my motivation? And honestly, the success of my agents motivate me. And to know that my daughter is right there watching me is what drives me daily. I'm just thankful. Mama made
Mm-hmm.